1935 brings death-dealing hurricanes to Florida and the Caribbean, a year not soon forgotten. Sturdy liners flung on reefs by the storm's fury, the air full of calls for help. Huge waves pounding a fleet of distressed vessels as sister ships from the Coast Guard speed to the rescue.
Stand by for full speed.
Skippers on the lookout, rescue crews on the alert, ready to uphold the tradition of the sea. Stirring scenes filmed as they occurred in the wrecks of the steamships Rotterdam, Dixie, Havana, and Mohawk, on which 45 died. Hundreds on pleasure cruises suddenly made actors in ocean drama. Into history go deeds of heroism indelibly recorded. Taps for relief working veterans, victims in the year's appalling list of storm dead. 1935 sees the end of the trial of the century. Bruno Richard Hauptmann is found guilty by a country jury of 8 men and 4 women of kidnapping the Lindbergh baby. Justice Trenchard sentences Hauptmann to die, and the prisoner nearly 3 years after the crime goes to the Trenton death house. The shadow of the chair is on Hauptmann as he fights on. New Jersey's highest tribunal, the United States Supreme Court, have refused to interfere, and Hauptmann's day of doom draws near. America becomes G-Man conscious. With J. Edgar Hoover at its head, the Bureau of Investigation expands into the mightiest arm of the law. Kidnapping is reduced to a minimum. The Weyerhaeuser abduction at Tacoma brings prompt action. Thousands of circulars are sent out for Harmon Whaley. The suspect is captured and confesses. The boys return in 5 days unharmed, and the outstanding case of the year is solved. Into 1936 roars the G-Man's warning to public enemies. Helena, Montana smashed by earthquakes, one of the year's worst disasters. Over 1,000 shocks in 3 months. Hundreds left homeless, many dead. The plucky city emerges undaunted from the ruins. Drought leaves its mark for 1935. Dust storms bury Kansas and Colorado farms. It lasted, fortunately, only a few weeks, and a prosperous harvest erased the harrowing memories. Forest fire rangers have a busy year. Their biggest job was the $8 million inferno that swept over 100 square miles near Hollywood and Los Angeles. For days it raged, destroying many homes in the Malibu Beach movie colony. Senator Huey P. Long assassinated. 1935 brings the tragic end of an astounding personality. Into the $5 million Capitol which he built file 180,000 bewildered mourners. And so departs the stormy petrel of politics and one of the nation's most picturesque public characters. The most shocking tragedy of the year, the deaths of Will Rogers and Wiley Post that stunned the world. Off from Seattle went the smiling cowboy humorist, his last goodbye. Like a pair of schoolboys, the 2 adventurers headed for the north on a holiday trip, and then suddenly, journey's end. "1935 sees the end of the Macon, her last flight. Bowing to the fleet, she leaves the Golden Gate. A storm strikes her in the night. A call for help snaps out. Metrotone's graphic visualization of the disaster is recalled as the Air Queen goes to her doom. Sir Malcolm Campbell, king of speed for 1935. Close call. Death threatens in his attempt at 300 miles an hour. But back he goes and he makes it. The Normandie, France's bid for supremacy of the seas makes her debut. $60 million worth of luxury and speed, the new Sea Queen arrives at New York with all transatlantic records broken. Captain Stevens and Anderson head the year's greatest scientific air adventure. For the glory of the Army and the study of the mysterious cosmic rays, they risked their lives exploring the stratosphere. Over 13 miles up, they rose, highest ever flown by man. 1935 makes east and west neighbors. Over the round trip of 18,000 miles, Captain Edwin Music writes history with a China clipper. Into Manila glides the huge airship with the first airmail ever flown across the Pacific. And shortly after, she returns safely, completing the greatest commercial air adventure ever attempted. One of the year's scientific adventures failed. An explosion stops Constantino Vlachos' tryout with his odd-looking plane. His wife and others rush to his rescue. Vlachos is saved and lives to fly again, perhaps. The Monteverdi brothers of Portugal try to break the New York to Rome hoodoo. Hard luck rides with them. Heading for a smash-up where Definado died. The boys escape, but the hoodoo remains. War writes flaming pages on the calendar of the year. Mussolini, adamant, defiant, carries on his conquest of Ethiopia in the face of Europe's pleas and the League of Nations threats. Italian bombs destroy defenseless villages. Italian legions march on. Amid the turmoil, Emperor Haile Selassie remains serene, hoping for the best. Great Britain acclaims King George's Silver Jubilee. His popularity undimmed by war, strikes, and depression. The empire hails the 25th anniversary of his reign. One monarch whose crown remains secure. From the hearts of the multitude comes the cry, "Long live the King!" Presidential campaign begins, with Herbert Hoover emerging from self-enforced solitude. In Kansas, Governor Landon makes hay while the sun shines. A new Republican hope in the impending battle for control of the nation's destinies. 1935 finds the New Deal under heavy fire, but political clamor is stilled as the president at San Diego speaks for all America.
Despite what happens in continents overseas, the United States of America shall and must remain as long ago the father of our country prayed that it might remain, unentangled and free.
Goodbye, old year. Hello, 1936.
Now all together.